Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Way! Look, I'm happy again this week. Last week was just a minor blip. Today, I'm going to be talking about productivity and sort of how you can be more productive. I've asked some of the wisest souls I know and my Instagram followers, and I've gathered together 7 or 6, let's say 7 tips on how to be more productive. So, tip number uno is make a to-do list every morning / evening for the next day. This basically sets out your goals for the day and gives you an idea of what you need to do, so you're not just going into the day blind. I found that doing this it gives me a purpose in my day, because if you know me, you know I'm a very lazy person. I somehow got through the entirety of school without ever learning how to revise. I just don't like work, essentially. So for me, this is actually really useful because it kind of separates the things I need to do. So rather than having this massive job to do in the day, I can split it into little things and spread that throughout the day. Makes it much more manageable and much less daunting, is that the word? Much less daunting to do. Also, writing one before you go to bed for the next day, I think that's better than writing it in the morning, because it means you wake up already with a purpose, if you know what I mean. However, this links with another piece of advice. Try not to go on your phone first thing in the morning. So, for example, you could wake up, have your shower, and then write yourself a little to-do list for the day. Or do it the other way around. Wake up, write your to-do list, have a shower, have breakfast, and then just spend an hour or so in your head thinking about your goals for short-term goals and your long-term goals, and like stuff to do today and what you've got coming up over the next few weeks to kind of keep you in the moment and keep you grounded. Now, talking about goals, that brings me on to point number 2, which is, you may have guessed it by now, set yourself goals. So these can be short-term goals or long-term goals, it doesn't really matter. These goals just kind of give you something to work towards, so whatever you're doing doesn't feel pointless. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's going to really annoy me. I'm sorry if you can hear that drilling. I'm a train. Basically, this gives you something to work towards, so when you're sat at your desk in tears because you're really struggling to do something, you can just remind yourself of these goals in your head. And it means that what you're doing isn't pointless. Like, keep reminding yourself that what you're doing is pushing you towards where you want to be. So myself, I have a whiteboard which is up there, and I've written, how many goals have I got? 5 goals for the year. And look, they're very simple goals, some of them. For example, start a YouTube channel. And this is my 4th video, so that can go. One of them's pass first year of uni. I don't really care about what grade I get, I just want to pass. But stuff like that. Like, goals they're little goals that stay in your head. They're nothing major. But then I have got major goals. I'm not going to read them out to you because they're very personal goals. But yeah, set yourself goals. Just a little side note, do we like the hair, by the way? I had a little midlife crisis, so I gave myself these little tram lines. I don't hate them. I don't know if they'll stay, probably not, but yeah, I cut my own hair, look. I don't think I've done an awful job. I've seen better. Okay, also, in terms of goals, to help you achieve those goals every single day, try and write down what you've achieved that day. So, kind of like journaling, I guess. Before you go to bed, write down what goals you've done. Just what you've done in general, how you're feeling, that kind of stuff. Before you go to bed, it's a nice little activity to get you off your phone before you go to sleep. So this is one I'm going to add. Right, number 3, clear your mind. So this could be anything from reading to journaling. Another piece of advice someone gave me was meditation, and I didn't know this, but apparently meditation literally grows the part of your brain that's responsible for decision making and willpower. So who wouldn't want that? So meditate, journal, read, just don't go on your phone, exercise, that kind of stuff. Loads of people said exercise. Especially in the world that we're in at the minute, You spend so much time lost in your phone. You can sit on your phone for hours and hours and hours when you could be doing work. So even just an hour without your phone is useful. Even if you're not doing work, it just clears your head. It's not healthy to be on our phones the amount that we are as humans. Now, number 4 is remove any distractions. Now this one's quite obvious, because if you're trying to be productive, you don't want stuff distracting you. But that includes taking your phone away from the area while you're trying to work. Because unless your job or whatever you're doing requires your phone, then it's just going to take you out of the kind of headspace where you're working. So even a buzz can take your brain's attention away for like less than 3 seconds, but that takes you out of the flow state that you're in. And a lot of the people I've spoken to, most of them are creative people. And as creatives, it's important that you're in that flow state, that it's just coming naturally to you. So a little buzz of your phone might seem so insignificant, but it does just completely take your brain off the activity. So phone notifications off or move it away, and that will lead to you being more productive. That's obvious, everyone knows that. Okay, number 5 is think of the bigger picture. So that the stuff you're doing feels worthwhile. So this kind of links in with the goals one. It's important to think where you're going to be in the future. So imagine yourself in 5 years. I'll give you a second. Just get a picture of where you want to be in 5 years in your head. And what have you got to do from now to get to that point? So every time you find yourself struggling or thinking, why am I doing this? I want you to go back to that image that you just got in your head. If you didn't do it, come on, get an image in your head. 5 years time, I want you to go back to there and think, right, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So that's why I'm doing that essay to get good A levels, to get into uni, to get to where I want to be. Or that's why I'm writing this book. I don't know. And then it kind of gives you a purpose. That gives you motivation to keep working and keep driving forward to eventually become the person you are in 5 years' time. And hopefully you are the person that you imagined, and you'll think back to this video and go, thanks Max for your help. And something that links into this, a very good friend of mine, Nathaniel Medford, here he is, said to me last year, live life like the person you want to be. Essentially saying, like, you want to be this millionaire, whatever, businessman, start living like him now. Basically like manifesting it, I guess. So if you start living like that, then you attract that kind of energy back to you. I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's kind of how I perceived it. Okay, number 6 is routine, and I touched on this in my last video. If you're feeling down, or no, in fact, just go and watch it. Just click up here, or it might be up here, I don't know which side. Click on the little eye, and it'll take you to that video. Go and watch that, that's a good video. So basically, you're gonna wanna get up at, for example, 9 o'clock every day, horrible, and go to bed at 12 or 1 every day. Sleep's actually very important. If you haven't listened to it, go and listen to Joe Rogan's sleep podcast, very interesting. And I'm going to be making a video to do with sleep in the next few weeks, hopefully. But yeah, go to sleep at a certain time, get up at a certain time, and try and have regular meal times. Mine are very weird, but I have them at the same time. So I have like porridge, so my breakfast at like 11 or 12 normally, and then I'll have lunch at 4 or 5, and then dinner at 8 or 9. It's very unorthodox and weird, but it works, and it stops me from snacking after dinner because I'm not hungry before I go to bed in between dinner. So it's unorthodox, but it works. So find what works for you, and stick to that, because routine does help, especially at the minute. It gives you a bit of normality in this weird world. Right, number 7, as a wise man once said, just do it. Just start the thing that you need to do, because once you start, it is so much easier to carry on and get into that flow state, as I mentioned earlier. It's like going to the gym or going on a run. The hardest part is getting ready and leaving. Like when you're there, it's alright, it should be hard, but you're expecting it to be hard. The hardest part is actually getting out and going. Right, I hope that has been semi-useful for you. If you're struggling to be productive, I know there's A-level and GCSE students who have no idea what's happening with their exams, and you just got to keep going. like this train keeps going past. You have just got to keep going. As hard as it is, just keep working towards it. Even if you're not at school and you're doing actually important stuff, when you're sat at home next to your bed trying to do work, it's so much more difficult than being in another environment. Because you associate this environment with sleeping and relaxing. So having to work here, less easy. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed that. But now it's time for the Max Rowley TikTok of the Week Challenge Award. Now this week, I have to say, it's been poor from everyone. Compared to the last couple of weeks, I've had very few submissions, so can you pick it up please this week? Okay, so this week's winner is now a two-time winner. It's Josh Banner again, with this old and simple, but also gold TikTok. I don't think it originated on TikTok, but here we are.
All the illegal drugs you do in your garage.
Oh, there's no illegal drugs in my garage.
Oh, yes, there is, and there's evidence of it.
Hello there.
So yeah, very simple. You've probably seen it before, but that's what I mean. Poor week. Can we step up the levels, please? Last week was so good and we've just plummeted off a cliff. So send me TikToks, come on. This is my username. I'm doing this again. Like, come on now, people. Okay, so I hope you did enjoy that. If you could like and subscribe as well, that would be very useful. And press the little bell next to subscribe, because that's a thing that you should do as well. And leave a comment saying, thank you Max, this advice has really helped me. And I'll reply and say, you're very welcome. Come back again. So, as I said, I hope you have enjoyed. And I will see you next week, Thursday, 6 PM. Be there or be square, right, ciao.
Yeah, we some foul mouth, money spinning motherfucking 90s kids, bank